Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dylan with Lasco Ford here, and I'm very excited to share with you guys a look at a 2026 Ford Explorer ST that we just got onto our lot. This one is in Star White. I want to take a minute and go over some of the features on this vehicle with you. Let's take a look. To start, we're going to look up front here. Of course, this is an ST, so you do have that classic heritage ST badging they have done for years on the Explorer STs. Also, you have this nice gloss black finish on the grille with a really nice open design, and of course, your front Ford fascia with your 360 front camera and sensing system. On a higher trim vehicle like this, you're going to love to have all of that extra security. Now, coming over here to the side too, this one does have 21-inch aluminum rims, and honestly, with the nice metallic paint color, and you've got your gray rims and the little bit of red peeking out there, I think really helps tie all this vehicle together. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the body. Now, the mirror caps on the Explorer ST, you do have the gloss black, and you're going to see a lot of that gloss finish throughout, which again, with the Star White metallic, is going to look wonderful. The vehicle, like I said when we were looking up front, you do have 360 camera, so you have front camera, back camera, and then cameras under your side view mirror to give you that whole bird's eye view. And then of course, blind spot monitor on the side view mirror here too. I'm going to open that up and try to show that off. That little symbol for the Ford vehicles just kind of lights up if someone's in your blind spot, and I think it really helps keep people safe. Also, another cool feature, I'm gonna press lock. I love this. Passive keyless entry, right? So I have the key in close proximity, I put my hand on the door, I can get in and out. Also, you'll see roof rails on this vehicle too, so if you need some crossbars, you do get extra storage space that way. Now onto some more fun stuff for our viewers here. This does have Ford's 3-liter EcoBoost engine. This one is capable of 400 horsepower and 410 pound-foot-feet of torque. Very, very nice. Ford's made this engine for a number of years, and it's been on the Explorer STs for quite some time, so nice to see it makes its return. Fuel economy-wise, of course, you're going to get all the performance with this engine. You're also going to get some pretty killer fuel economy for that, too. You're looking at 20 combined, but it's also 18 city, 25 highway, so very cool to see that. Now, I want to take a look into the back cargo area with you guys. So now looking at the back, you will see the ST line of badging again on here. That is a look of heritage for the Ford Performance team, so really cool to see it on the front and the back, and people know that you're not driving just a regular Explorer, you're driving the ST model. Now, you'll see also nice black bar here across your tailgate. Really nice to see that carry over from the 25s to the 26s, and of course you have your black Explorer lettering on there too. This one also, you'll notice above your exhaust, you do have more of that gloss black look for that sport finish. So you have quad exhaust here, which again, this is a sport trim vehicle. It's supposed to be fun. You also have trailer tow hitch, 5,000 pound tow capacity. Very, very cool to see that. And of course, this being a high trim level vehicle, we do have power liftgate on this model as well. So it'll just open right up there, and tons of storage space in this lovely third row vehicle. Of course, the tailgates are adjustable height, so I can set and lower it as needed, and then press and hold the button. We'll hear a slight chime, and this is the max height it'll open. So if you have a shorter garage, or honestly, if you're like my mother who's a little bit shorter, you have the ability to adjust that. So you'll see you do have these two little top straps on both of the seats. I pull that really quickly just to release the headrest. And then around here on the other side too, what's nice about these Explorers here is you do actually have powered third row seat controls. So I can go up or down with these, left or right side, or I can press the middle button to automatically drop them both, which honestly, loading groceries in a busy parking lot, lifesaver, I'll tell you that. Now let's take a look at the second row and go over some of the amenities for the passengers. Okay, hopping up here in the second row, first I want to just point out, you do still have the Onyx Black with Miko suede insert seats. They've done this for a number of years on the Explorer STs, so with that red stitching, of course, that's going to make a return. You do have second row climate control options, so they can control fan speed, temperature back here independently, as well as direction, and I know you're seeing it too. The second row passengers are also getting their own heated seats, and a couple charging port options, and honestly a ton of cup holders. You have some here in the center and two for each door on this as well. Now, I want to draw your guys' attention to the moonroof. Moonroof has been changed on the 2026 Explorers. You'll notice that this is all one fixed pane of glass here. You don't have that little divider like there's been in years past. And that is because this is now, as I said, fixed pane moonroof. Does not open, we just have shutter control on this. Now that we've gone over some of the features back here, I want to hop up to the more exciting front seat of the Explorer. Let's go. Now that we're in the front seat, and like I said, probably the most exciting seat for a number of reasons, I want to point out to you the sill plate. Of course, you do still have your Ford Performance badging on there. Nice to see that the team gets its logo all over. They're honestly one of their flagship vehicles here. Of course, that same seating material is carried on up front. No surprise here. And I talked about it last year when they came out. I really fell in love with the Explorers when they did the interior refresh. You get the nice new dash material. Of course, your upgraded sound system too included with this model. And I love, and I'm sure a lot of customers will agree with me on this, that this little storage shelf has been a game changer for a lot of our customers. Very cool to see that. And then not even to get into the touchscreen system with the changeover to the Ford Digital Experience, and you do have Google Map integration, but then you also still have wireless CarPlay capability too. So it's really best of both worlds on what you'd like to use. And then naturally, I keep saying it, not to sound like a broken record, high trim level vehicle, of course, you're gonna have things like the heated seats, the heated steering wheel, ventilated seats for those warm summers. And then also really nice on this too, you do have Blue Cruise capability with the hands-free driving. Very nice. You have the ability to use adaptive cruise control and lane keeping, or like I said, let Blue Cruise take the wheel and make your next highway adventure a fun one. Now, I want to point out a few other amenities before we finish this up. If you can see it here, of course, you do have memory seating options on this, and that is kind of tied in with your seat here, which is really nice. If you're sharing the vehicle with a partner, significant other, what have you, you can have your own couple presets. And you will see too, now that I've opened the door, that red on my hand, ambient lighting. Oh gosh, such an underrated little detail that honestly makes a car for me. All right, guys, we're gonna take this one for a quick spin, but first and foremost, whenever I get in one of these Explorer STs, one of my favorite things to do is turn on the multi-contour or massage seats. One of my personal favorite features. A lot of customers are unaware of them, and honestly, it's a really great thing that helps set something like the Explorer ST apart from the other trim levels, so cool to see that. And then of course we also have our ambient lighting adjustment too. I know I had shown the red, but really I just wanted to point out that you do have access to multiple colors again, instead of like on some of the older models where you just had kind of that like icy blue color in places like the cup holder and stuff like that. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So one of my favorite little features that I've seen in other vehicles, and I was really excited to see that it came to the Explorer, and I believe it was last year's model, map integration inside the gauge cluster here. As silly as it sounds, I really do think that's a great quality of life feature. I honestly wish I had something like that in my 2023 F-150. You also probably saw that this does still have speed sign recognition down there, and it's the Google Maps, so it's exactly what I'm looking at here. Just this one's in a darker view for, I would assume, viewing pleasure. Of course, we still have things like our distance to empty on there when you're in map view, and then also on that right side too, you have your digital speedometer right there and ready to go. Honestly, I don't know what other information they would need to put while you're in map view. I would probably drive in this the entire time, personally. I also, just like all the other Ford vehicles too, your cruise control is up here with your options for adaptive cruise and lane keeping. I still have all of my volume controls, including that new mute button that they've started adding to some of the steering wheel controls. And then of course, this side of the steering wheel, right, this whole menu controls the center gauge cluster, as well as lets me go out into the whole main menu. I was in my view before, which if you're a longtime Ford customer, you probably know that that is a completely customizable menu inside the gauge cluster here. When I got in the Explorer, honestly, I knew that this was going to be a fun video. I've always been a big fan of the Explorer STs, so performance, without a doubt in my mind, is going to be excellent on this vehicle, and that's even in normal drive modes. So you do still have drive mode selector down here. So as I turn this dial, and this being the whole digital gauge cluster too, it's nice to get that whole animation sequence. I tell a lot of my customers here at the store, it really is about the attention to detail. Now, I don't know if you guys felt it, but I know that my camera woman here did. When you switch into like going from normal, we'll let it set, and then I pop it into sport mode, you almost feel like a little jump forward. You can really feel that 3-liter engine wanting to unleash its 400 horsepower. Thank you for tuning in with us today, guys. Like I said, I always love the Explorers and especially the ST line. Probably one of the most fun vehicles Ford makes right now, especially with some of the new technology we've gotten, like the Google Experience and of course Blue Cruise and things like that. This one is available, and I do have other Explorers as well on my lot. If you're interested or have any other questions about the vehicle, do not hesitate to give us a call here at Lasco Ford. Our store number is 810-390-5550. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.